Welcome back. We left off last time having crafted the Nether cake. I'm going to put this down and we are going to enter the Nether, but I'm going to make sure I have an overworld cake so I can come back home. Pretty precarious spawn point. Straight off the bat, I have found a molybdenum vein. This has wolfenite, this has molybdenum. I'm sure this will be super useful, but what I'm here for is actually sulfur. And maybe some glowstone as well, because it looks nice. And I think these warped stems also look pretty nice, and I think they could work as like bioluminescent algae in the ocean. I think that could look really cool. And there's also these blocks, the shroom lights, which I've never used before, but they look cool. It's so nice knowing that there's nothing that can kill me. I hope that doesn't become foreshadowing. Also, these like magma blocks, they can be used for making bubble columns or something, right? That's a thing. At least for decoration, even if I never use it in the actual game. Ow, ow. Ooh, here's a tetrahedrite vein, important for stibnite. After getting my hands on some sulfur, I decided to go back to the overworld and continue working on circuits. Quickly crafted up a steam extractor, extracted some sticky resin to get raw rubber, and then alloy smelted it to get rubber ingots. After getting my hands on my first rubber sheet, making cables is just a matter of combining the sheet with the wire. But I did quickly run out of sticky resin. So, it's time for a bit of building. 1 3-hour building stream later, we've added quite a bit of stuff to the main building. It looks a lot nicer now. Still needs a lot of work, but it's coming along. I also built a kind of half circle that's meant for my tree farm. This also is very incomplete and still needs a lot of work. The main creative issue I'm having right now is I don't know how to decorate these like curved parts of the platform. I don't know, I have to figure something out, but once I figure that out, I can apply it to all of the curves and then it could look pretty consistent and nice. Anyway, I also wanted to show off some of the little micro detailing that's happened here. So I'm using shroom lights that are hidden behind a chipped variant of the dark oak trapdoor. And I think that makes it look really nice. Just the shroom light by itself looks a little like too much, so obscuring it a little bit adds a lot. I've also added a lot of leaves to kind of fluff up the pillars, give it some depth. I think it looks pretty nice. Also, you can't go wrong with particle effects, so I added a spore blossom. It's a little hidden, but I think it adds these falling leaves that look really nice. Overall, this looks pretty awesome, but I think I can level it up just a little bit by adding the better foliage mod, so I think I'm gonna do that. I also found the rain sound very annoying, so I'm gonna find a mod to change the sound of the rain, and also just like the ambient noises when it's raining, just to make it feel a little more cozy. With the rubber farm up and running, making the rest of the cables should be no problem at all. I crafted up the subcomponents like the resistors, the vacuum tubes, and the resin printed circuit boards, and I made enough to make 16 basic electronic circuits. I also crafted the LV machine hull, so we are now in LV. Now LV unlocks several new machines, the most notable of which are the steam turbine, the wire mill, the bender, and the lathe. Especially the wire mill. It should always be the first machine you make because it saves so many materials. Instead of getting 2 wires per 3 ingots, I get 2 wire per 1 ingot. So it's a pretty big difference. Similar thing with the bender. Instead of getting 2 plates for 3 ingots from the forge hammer, I now get 1 plate per 1 ingot. And the lathe, instead of getting 1 rod for 1 ingot, I now get 2 rods for 1 ingot. So these 3 will save you the most in the beginning. And as for how electricity works, I don't really want to go into detail in this video because it's just going to take too much time, and I feel like a large portion of my viewer base already knows. But if you don't know, I have a guide to GregTech electricity for GTNH. The electricity system works basically the same in Monifactory, so you can just watch that to understand. I also made a liquid boiler because I need coal for steel, so I can't really use coal for steam anymore. So I made a liquid boiler. I need to probably set up some pipes to route the creosote in here automatically, but for now I've just been using these fluid tanks from Ender.io, just picking up the creosote like this and then putting it here. And you can configure these on the side to push or pull or both or nothing. These push into this tank, which pushes into the boiler. This is pretty good. It actually makes about twice as much steam per tick as the solid one, so this is kind of just better, but it's more expensive. It uses more steel. which is not an issue for me anymore. Anyway, we have our first electric machines. Before I continue making more machines, I would like to kind of clean up this area. I would like to automate the coke ovens, because there are these coke oven hatches that I could make. This outputs creosote, so I can automatically pull creosote from the machine, which I can't do at the moment. And I'd also just like to clean this up, because this is a spaghetti mess. There's also, to be honest, not enough space in here, so I still need to figure out a design for expanding this horizontally. But once I do that, I can expand, I can have a nice row of machines with a little bit of interior decoration. And electric machines have one more benefit over the steam ones in that they can auto output. So you can choose a face on which to auto output. Basically, anytime this completes a recipe, the item in the output slot gets pushed through this face into any connected inventory. So this could be like a chest or something. This can allow for a lot more compact of a setup, and I could start batch crafting a little bit easier. I can set up an input chest, use a conveyor to pull into the machine, and then have all the outputs go into an output chest. So I can just dump a bunch of materials, things will process while I go do other things. Can't really do that with the steam machines because they need that venting face, which, by the way, is blocked by this wood pipe. Oops. Okay, a bit of cleanup. Well, that was quite a challenging build for me. The shape of this room is pretty strange. It's a circle on this side, but it turns into a diagonal hallway on this side. And building the diagonal roof was really hard. I did that on stream. I tried to record while streaming. I wasn't able to do it, but I tried to do my best in showing the montage as much as possible. So let me know how that went, but I'll continue to try and find a way to record and stream at the same time. Anyway, this was pretty fun to build. More fun than I thought it would be. I made some more machines, as you can see. I even made this thing, the bronze multi-block tank. This stores steam for me. It's basically my battery buffer. Speaking of battery buffers, I do have batteries, so I could make some actual battery buffers, but we'll come back to that. Let me show you all the changes here. So I didn't show this, but out here in the front, I built another quarter of the circle just because I was bored. Over here, there's the diagonal part. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. I might add a second floor to this, I'm not sure. I didn't know what I wanted to do at the end of it, so I just left it incomplete for now, but I think it's gonna be kind of this section of the room again, but just over here. But I need to think about how that combines with this tree farm area, because the tree farm area isn't going to permanently be here, to be honest, because there's better ways of getting wood than chopping down trees, so I don't know what to do with this. There's a ton of micro detailing it could still do, like the leaves and stuff. I haven't done that, but this is pretty good for what it is at the moment. As for technical stuff, I moved the pump out here. This seems like a more logical place to put the pump, but I think I'd like to make it appear like it's harnessed to the building or something, but I'm not sure exactly what to do here, so ideas would be nice. This provides water for free, of course. The water is sent to these 8 high-pressure steam solar boilers. Now, I don't know, solar's fine, it's okay, especially in the beginning, but later on, typically solar stops being so useful, but for now I decided to use solar. And in this version of GT, by the way, if you didn't know, or if you're coming from GTNH, you can waterlog the pipes, and I think it looks so cool. It's pretty awesome. Like, look at this, it's so nice. Anyway, water is supplied to the boilers, which of course will explode if they're hot and then you put water in it. So this needs to definitely always be oversupplying. This makes steam during the day. Steam is sent through these gold pipes, which I found to be surprisingly cheap because gold is weirdly easy to get. And that feeds into the bronze tank valve over here. There's another pipe coming from above. The pipes burn you, by the way, if they have steam in them. This is being supplied by the high pressure steam liquid boiler, which I've moved here. This is now automatically fed with creosote from the coke ovens. Also needs water from below. And all the steam goes into the tank, like I said. On this side, I have another tank valve facing down, which turns on auto output. And this pushes steam into the pipes, where it gets fed into the turbine, which makes electricity. This feeds a 1 amp wire. So for now, I can only have the one turbine. I'll have to thicken the wire if I want to use more than one turbine. But this is fine, because 1 amp can power more than one machine. For details, view my electricity video. But I did make space predicting that I will probably make more steam turbines in the near future. And in the front here, I have my machine row. So I've made an arc furnace, a chemical reactor, and a fluid solidifier. The arc furnace is for making glass, so I can finally use glass around here. The chemical reactor and fluid solidifier are for making rubber plates, because this is far more efficient than the alloy smelter recipe. And everything here is set up to auto output into the barrel below. So you can do that by, for example, on the fluid solidifier, clicking this and then clicking the bottom face and then turning on item auto output. The top face, which you can see by holding shift, has a conveyor on it, a ULV conveyor. I found these in the city, so I've been using them. It's set to import, so it will pull items from the barrel above, and when it's done processing, it will push the output into the barrel below. I have a specifically nice setup with this chem reactor and fluid solidifier being next to each other, actually. So because the barrel can only hold items, I have the items being pushed into the barrel, but any fluid output is pushed into the adjacent machine, which is the fluid solidifier. So when I make rubber, it makes liquid rubber, which is automatically pushed into the solidifier to make rubber plates. So that's kind of nice. It is something I need to be aware of, because I maybe don't always want this to auto push, but yeah, it's nice to have. I also made a second row over here for when I have even more machines. And even more machines is probably what I'm going to work on next. The goal of LV is of course to make it to the next voltage age, which is MV, for which I need to make MV machine hulls. This needs aluminium, which needs a blast furnace. To make a blast furnace, I need copper nickel coils, for which I'm going to need to make the alloy smelter and assembler. But while I'm at it, I'm also going to make a bunch of other machines, because they're all good to have. I'll also make some quality of life stuff, and I'll mention it when I do. But yeah, this is the setup right now. Pretty nice. I crafted a couple more machines, the extractor, polarizer, the electrolyzer, and the LV assembler, and there are a couple of different things I can do next. I should get the grind for the electric blast furnace going, and the bulk of the cost here is the copper nickel coils. I'm also going to start off straight up with double hatching the blast furnace, so I'm going to make 2 energy hatches per blast furnace, and I think I'm probably going to make 4 blast furnaces, because blasting is very often a significant bottleneck. This does mean a couple of things though. I need to find some nickel, which I think I have. In this lubricant vein, there's pentlandite ore, which has nickel. But more than that, I need space for a bit of machine spam. 4 electric blast furnaces is going to take some space, about as much space as 4 primitive blast furnaces, but I also need to have space for wiring and AE2 connections later on and stuff. So I'm not sure where to put this. I think this work in progress platform can be expanded out this way. I think instead of closing out the circle here, I can leave this as a semicircle like this, and so instead the path just widens and continues on that way, and then I can have some larger machine halls for bigger machines. Probably means I'm gonna have to tear down these, but that's fine. More building. Before doing any building though, I'm gonna set up a phytogenic insulator, or a couple, because these can be used to make wood. I'm also gonna make a magnet upgrade, and probably an advanced magnet upgrade at that. I'm going to make a hang glider, which needs some iron and some leather. And I'm going to make a red hook. Create a flight within the volume defined by the hooks. That is going to be pretty good. While I'm at it, I may as well also make a diamond hook. The only thing stopping me is a diamond pickaxe, which needs a diamond plate. But I can make a diamond plate now because I can make an LV cutter, so I'm gonna have to make that as well. This does need cobalt brass though. Cobalt looks like it's gonna be a bit more difficult to get, so actually I don't know if I can make the diamond hook. I'll make the red hook to start. Just made a staff of traveling. What are these units? Micro eye? What is eye? Weird. Luckily, this can be charged in any machine's battery slot, and staff of traveling is super nice. Later on, I can make travel anchors, which allow me to teleport to them using the staff of traveling, but the staff of traveling by itself is also a pretty useful item. I can use it to teleport to any block I look at, up to a certain max distance, of course. So, pretty handy for stuff like this. And it lets me go through blocks. So yeah, pretty nice item. Uses about 1,000 micro eye, whatever this is, per teleport though. So, it's not too bad, it's just, I can't be spamming this. It's only 100 casts. At some point I'll get wireless charging and then this will be fine. I can also carry a battery around to charge this. I also made my advanced magnet upgrade, and look at this. It just gets magneted straight into my backpack. Pretty nice. Anyway, I'm going to set up some phytogenic insulators, and then I'm going to start working towards the blast furnaces. I don't think this is the default recipe for the controller. It needs 3 regular electric furnaces, which is fine, but this doesn't look like a familiar recipe to me. The heat-proof casings being made of Invar sounds right. Maintenance hatch, of course. Muffler hatch, of course, input and output buses and hatches, and the energy hatches. Overall, not too bad. It's mainly the coils that are expensive, but this doesn't look too bad either, to be honest. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's set up the phytogenic insulators first. I'd like to have a nice big stack of wood for when I need to build, instead of having to go chopping down trees every time. Okay, here is the temporary phytogenic insulator setup. I'm just going to power this with batteries instead of bringing entire power infrastructure over here because I don't need that much wood. I think just coming by and checking on this will be often enough that I'll be on top of this. So I got 4 batteries here in this low voltage battery buffer connected to the cables, or the wires I guess, connected to the phytogenic insulators. I have this weird 3x3 roof to protect the battery buffer from rain because it is an electric machine. And electric machines blow up in the rain. Well, I guess that's technically not true. You get a fire next to the machine, and the fire makes the machine blow up. I made a new pump to make water. That's feeding all of the insulators. This one is making dark oak. This one is making acacia. One of them will be making rubber. One of them will be making jungle. One of them will be making spruce, I think. And what else do I use? I'm not sure, but I made 8 phytogenic insulators so I can make 8 things. I've decided that this semicircle thing is going to be kind of a greenhouse, and then that's what I'll connect to the diagonal. But I won't be doing that right now, because a greenhouse needs glass, and glass needs oxygen, and oxygen needs infrastructure. So I think, for now, this might actually be a good time to stop the episode. I'll go mining, I'll get all the materials required for the blast furnace, and we'll craft that next time, and we'll do some more building. See you next time.